Alright, today we're going to talk about actual content in Destiny 2, or more specifically rewards. And we're focusing on Tier 5 loot once again right here. With more players getting above 450 power, Tier 5 is realistically becoming easier to obtain for those players. I appreciate Bungie have yet to do a lot more work to actually improve the general power climb to get players to that kind of level, but with Ash and Iron, obviously, it's easier to go above 450 now, and many players are. So in this video, we'll round up a change Bungie made this week, which actually nerfed Tier 5 reward drops in a lot of portal activities. Looking at the tweet they posted yesterday though, they say we've further reduced the score total requirement to earn Tier 5 rewards down to 1.15 million at 450 power or above. Strangely, before the update that we had last week, you could earn Tier 5 loot by playing at a -10 power delta on a Grandmaster Caldera without any requirement for ultimate difficulty. Then with the changes Bungie put in this week, it actually got significantly harder to earn Tier 5s. I'm not sure if Bungie actually know that or not, because they say we further reduced the score required, but they didn't reduce it on Tuesday as far as I understand it. They made it worse. Anyway, onto the useful bit of info here, I guess. Obviously, if you're running ultimate difficulty content at around 450 power, by the time you put enough modifiers on to achieve that score, you'll be playing at a massive power delta, and those activities are, frankly, not very fun at all. However, some players haven't noticed this. You don't actually require ultimate difficulty to get a Tier 5 drop. So if you go back to Grandmaster difficulty, again, over 451 power, it is possible to get the reward rating above 1.15 million, which will be a Platinum 1 A+ score, and that will drop a Tier 5 reward. Now, if you're only at just over 450 power, this is still going to be reasonably difficult. We're still playing at a -40 something power delta. But as you can see, we do get the Tier 5 drop upon completing the activity. So in some ways, I'd say the sweet spot to start earning Tier 5 loot actually is closer to around 470 power, because the reward rank and the power level are all kind of intertwined. So as you level up, it will get easier to complete these activities and to actually reach the appropriate score to get the Tier 5 drop. But that's the first piece of information. You don't need ultimate difficulty. You can backtrack to Grandmaster. Although at 450 power, I'm still having to add things like Brawn, Touche, no radar, and no starting ammo, and then add Banes, 3+20 modifiers and 2+10s, so you really have to stack them up, but despite the difficulty, that's a consistent way to earn Tier 5 loot. Another thing you could do above 450 power if you enjoy PvP, for whatever reason, PvP seems to be way more rewarding with regards to Tier 5 loot than anything else in the game right now, so I basically don't touch PvP these days, but played one game of Iron Banner, I'm 455 power, and I got 4 Tier 5 loot drops on a loss. I believe Tier 5 drops will be more consistent on a win, but even if you don't normally play PvP, that's another option, especially with events like Iron Banner. And I've seen numerous folks report these kind of Tier 5 drops from PvP things, so it's worth keeping in mind. The other thing for players above 450 power, I totally forgot about this because I wasn't 450 before Ash and Iron. There is of course the loot cave on Kepler. I'll run a clip at the end of the video that shows how to get here, but if you are now over 450 power, you can go to the Altar of Relativity vendor on the Caldera map for Kepler. Be sure to have grabbed the upgrades that add +1 and +2 to the tiers of rewards you can actually earn. Then if you come down to this spot, I'm sure some of you have seen this before, but if you haven't, there's a little cave here that spawns a bunch of Vex and Fallen enemies. Obviously they're pretty tanky because you need to load this up on Mythic difficulty, but if you boot it up on Mythic, head to this spot, you can use something like Winterbite, because obviously it freezes targets and doesn't require a ton of ammo because you can just use the glaive melee. And if you run back and forth, killing all the Vex in the first room and the Fallen in the side room to the left hand side, I would say every 2 to 3 minutes, you'll get a drop of Kepler gear, but if you're over 450 power, every single one of them will be Tier 5. So obviously that's any of the Kepler weapons, plus we can attune to the Kepler weapons or armor pieces at the vendor. And some of the things from Kepler obviously are pretty nice, like the hand cannon here. I finally got the Agape, or Agape, whatever it's called, with Outlaw Incandescent. And otherwise, even things like the Aeon Adapter armor, if you've completed the Mythic quest, does have a bonus that gives you damage reduction on weapon kills. So it's another option for consistently farming Tier 5s, and is literally the easiest way to get Tier 5 rewards in the game, so I'd say it's totally worth checking out. All you need to do once again is grab all of the Kepler upgrades for the reward tier on the vendor and attune to any particular drops that you might want to try and get. Then follow the direction that you can see on screen starting right here, and I'll leave the clip running through to the end of the video, starting from the vendor in Caldera. So there we go, I just wanted to round up for folks kind of passing the 450 mark with Ash and Iron. This is currently how tier 5 rewards are working. Portal content is the most difficult content to play for tier 5 loot, especially in comparison to the Kepler thing, or even just events like Iron Banner. I don't enjoy PvP anywhere near as much as I used to, but it is kind of tempting to go back into Iron Banner just because of those tier 5 drops, especially given how difficult some of the content is in the portal, unless you're starting to get towards 470 power. Again, I appreciate this video doesn't help everyone. Most players are still below 450, and Bungie haven't really taken big enough swings to make that grind any faster yet. They say they're gonna do it, so if they do, and you feel like leveling up, keep all of these bits of info in mind. If you've enjoyed the video, guys, a rating very much helps us out. Give us your experiences farming for tier 5s in the comment section, and get subscribed for more content. But otherwise, thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have an awesome day.